OPEC has lowered demand forecast for this year by around 300,000 barrels per day. The group's joint technical committee made the forecast ahead of a ministerial meeting of the oil-producing nations today, where they will decide on output policy. Well, our very own Dan spoke with the CEO of Saudi Aramco, and he joins us now from Cairo. And again, Dan, there are viewers who didn't necessarily see the first hour of the show, but I can tell them that that is probably one of the best outside broadcast locations in a city on the planet as well. And as I was telling the viewers, if the cameraman were ever able to pan right with a long lens, you can see the pyramids. It doesn't get any better than that.
That's exactly right, Steve. Good morning to you and good morning, everyone. Hi from Cairo in Egypt. Look, we're following this OPEC meeting really closely, and as Steve mentioned, we saw OPEC moving to downgrade its 2021 demand forecast by 300,000 barrels, and that ultimately characterises the mood going into this production meeting, where ministers are likely to decide on output quotas for the month of May. Now, so far, we are told to expect the unexpected. However, analysts are suggesting that we will see a rollover of the current production curves. Halima Croft at RBC also flagging in a research note published just a couple of days ago that we're likely to see Saudi Arabia also deciding to keep that unilateral 1 million barrel per day production curve intact. But perhaps we'll also see the group coming to an agreement to allow producers like Russia and Kazakhstan to pump more. So expect the status quo coming into this meeting. At the same time, we're also coming into a new quarter of trading in the oil market. The first quarter probably going to be remembered as one of significant volatility, not just because of the crisis in the Suez Canal that I've been covering here in Egypt with the Ever Given jackknife in that vital waterway, but also for the security incidents that we saw across the region and the attacks on Aramco infrastructure that ultimately caused the price of oil to spike. Of course, analysts and market watchers looking at the situation in the Middle East very closely with that attack at Ras Tanura. That was, of course, the most significant attack that we've seen on Aramco facilities in recent years, and at the same time really causing significant volatility within the price because that's such a critical oil export terminal. Well, I had the opportunity to speak with the Aramco CEO Amin Nasser just yesterday. I asked him about how he's viewing security in the region and what this vital oil company, the largest in the world, is doing to protect its assets as tensions rise. Listen.
The company works in close coordination with government authorities and is fully committed to maintaining the safety of our employees and communities, as well as our assets and operation. We have proven our ability to respond swiftly and effectively, restoring operation and ensuring reliability of supply to our customers. And, the attacks on our facilities and Abqaiq and Khurais is a good reminder that we were able in days, less than 3 weeks, to restore these facilities after these major attacks. In fact, our reliability is second to none. In 2020, we maintained our supplies to customers with 99.9% reliability. This is what we announced also in our earnings call, the highest ever, in spite of these attacks and COVID-19. We have a robust business continuity plans, and they are constantly being strengthened to safeguard our operations and our employees.
Are you concerned, though, about the attacks that we've seen and the increasing frequency of these attacks?
Definitely, as I said, we are in full coordination with the government authority with regard to these attacks. The safety is of our people, and the protection of our asset is a priority for us. We have good contingency plans put together, and it's demonstrated in every attacks on our facility. And we will continue to work on protection measures and contingency plans.
Amin Nasser speaking to CNBC yesterday, and what's also interesting to point out is that he also said that while we have seen an increasing frequency of attacks against Aramco infrastructure, they haven't necessarily disrupted global supply. However, we have seen that price reaction. One other thing I'll add is that Mr. Nasser was also quite optimistic about the recovery trajectory for the oil market through 2021. He says, despite the fact that we have new lockdowns across some parts of Europe and an uneasy recovery in the United States, he says he's still seeing the path for oil looking pretty solid for the rest of the year. Of course, what's going to happen in the second quarter and beyond is largely going to be determined by the OPEC ministers, who, I remind you, are meeting today to discuss production policy through May. Back over to you.
Thank you very much indeed for that, Dan in Cairo. Right, Sven.